Should add myself to the stream, shouldn't I? I did a good trick there. I forgot to put myself on. At least I wasn't muted. Might be a rookie, but I don't make that big a rookie a mistake yet. Might have my day, who knows? So, hello everyone, welcome, and it just happens to be the completely different time of day. I just been out feeding calves, so I quickly got changed out of my black shirt and black jacket into a black shirt and black jacket, and I literally did get changed because this is my good black jacket, because the one that doesn't have reflective stripes on it, and this one here is a not hay itchy black shirt. It's bloody the hay at the moment, it's really quite itchy, and yeah, it's just annoying. Like, you get it on you and it's just like but the farmer's life. G'day, Chris Cruz. How do you do? Whatever that was that I just said. Must be too early in the morning. G'day, Whale Miner. Thank you very much for joining in again. And OBC, thank you very much for coming along. Hopefully shortly I'll have a guest. It's ooh. I'm just talking to the guest at the moment, so hopefully I will see how we go. This morning's, well, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world, you could be anywhere. The discussion is about anything and everything. Have you seen me feeding hay? We got big square bales, right? These are like 750 odd kilos a bale. And so they come off in biscuits that are about, like range from about 2-3 inches thick. And I load them onto the little hay trailer, and then you got to manually grab that and put it in like hay troughs or wherever you're feeding the hay. So of course, whenever you are doing that, you're getting your arms in the stuff, and most of the hay generally isn't all like dusty and prickly, but the oat and hay we've got lately is all sort of dusty and prickly, and so it's just what it is. It's all nice and green still, but it's a bit extra dry, I suppose. So it's a bit more crumbly than what I would call the best hay, even though it's still bloody good hay, but it's just, yeah, unfortunately, it's just, yeah, it seems to be just bale after bale of just more itchy, scratchy sort of stuff. So it's just annoying. So, yeah, it's just the fun. And yeah, so that's the fun of the day. My young fella was feeding out the milk, so that obviously helps a lot. No doubt I've got trailer wash time coming up pretty soon, which is like the most fun job you can get. Oh, here we go. Well, is everyone ready? The star of the show. You okay? All good? All right, let's bring her on. This is Kryptonight. So welcome her to the stage, everyone. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself? You got
I'm
your young
good. Yeah. Yeah, my little one's here.
Oh, cool. So you're still on mother duty, even though you got a live stream.
Yeah, well, what can we do?
Oh, hello,
Everyone's
Mr. Hubby. Hello.
Yeah.
And
My
oh,
kids
and
as
the other
well.
ones as well. Geez, you got the whole bloody family. Far out.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd pop in and say hello.
Yeah. So what's going
And I got
on?
my dog here too.
It sounds like you got your dog as well. Wow, it's all happening. Welcome to real life, everyone. If you don't get farm stuff, you get house stuff. I can't do that sort of thing. All my kids are too old. What? I haven't.
You got your presenter there, right there, speaking to you.
The what? Sorry.
I said you have your presenter here.
Yeah. Oh, is that what she's doing? Oh, cool. So that's the twins, is it? So they're the twins.
Yeah, my little twins.
How cool. How old are they?
They're 19 months.
Yeah.
And this little one on my lap is about to shut the screen.
So you got teething time.
Yeah.
Oh, what fun.
Yeah.
OBC, no, I don't make my own cheese. We've got access to the whole milk, which is obviously how we get it. But I haven't actually made cheese. We should, but never have. Made lots of other products, like obviously cream and butter, or butter from the cream. And we got a neighbour up the road who has a truffle farm, and so we just come to the end of the season now. But what we have done is made some black truffle butter, and it sounds all, but it's actually really good on a nice steak. So yeah, it's just you get to do some things on the farm that you wouldn't ordinarily do, because truffles are like $2,000 a kilo, and so even just buying it, you only need a little tiny bit of it, and it's not very heavy. But a little bit, might set you back $15 or $20 or something like that. But that does a whole lot. Like it does a lot of meals sort of stuff. If you just want to add that subtle sort of flavor when it's, like you wouldn't want to eat it by itself because it's horrible. But yeah, we made our own soap, and that's why I was saying pig fat is the best for making own soap. Cow soap's really hard, but well, it's just what you do on the farm, Kryptonite. You make your own stuff.
Well, I didn't know that. Soap comes from those kind of stuff.
No, you test things out.
We stick to goat soap.
Yeah. The goat soap's really good for being skin safe, like like just about everything. Goat's good for that. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, but there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But goat, because you make soap from fat, I know it sounds kind of strange, but that's how soap's made. Goat fat and beef fat almost makes the same stuff. In feel, like it's much harder, whereas pig soap is much softer, and it just there's some information for people that either mightn't like that information. I've just forced it on you, or that you just wonder where stuff comes from. Yeah, it's where things come from that are in the supermarket. Like it doesn't just appear as a bar of soap; it's got to be made, and that's the process. Add some caustic soda to it, and essentially you make your own soap.
So, Keith, you know the reason why I'm here. So
No.
I'm a bit of a nervous person, so I'm a bit shy when it
So
comes
am
to
I.
coming out to like these kinds of AMAs and stuff like that. Basically, I just wanted to let everyone know like I'm real, and I am looking
Yes, you
into
are.
all the investigation kind of things. I am working on it,
Yes.
and we have a
Yes.
fantastic group of Australians trying to also help, with the process. And
Yes.
you guys are not, being left in the, dark. Like, you are heard and your messages are getting sent. So just keep positive. And I don't know how much people are listening or seeing this.
There is definitely things going on.
Yeah. I mean, look, to be honest, I mentioned this to you before, and I've mentioned this a couple of times in the Discord. Some things just don't add up. Like, Nick Kalani. Thanks, Chris. Like, I know he might seem like a good guy, but some things just got me kind of thinking, like, when on the AMA, when he got muted from the Vulcan Discord, he turns around and he says, we're gonna, separate some funds for legal fees. But these legal fees are for himself and not for the community. However, when asked, but I think it was Fowler or something like that, can we use, some of these fees for the community? And I felt like he just felt hesitant in his reply, and it wasn't sincere. So that's why it kind of flipped the switch. So if no legal action is going to be taken on by them, then it's in our hands to like kind of try to seek legal legal procedures and stuff like that.
Well, as you know, Kryptonite, we are doing our thing. We're obviously not going to disclose too much, but we are doing our thing. And
and it is rolling.
Like we are, like we have all the information from the guys at Brew. They've been a wonderful. Yeah, they've been a wonderful source of storage of good information. And actually, I should post this live stream in Brew. Share. Oh no,
just putting it out there.
Yeah, well, I did that a couple of days ago, but the problem is that that's all like yesterday's news and not today. So if we're gonna,
and I've also got some news from someone in the community. They just want to bring it to light.
We'll just hang on a little bit, and
we'll
I'll just let that message hopefully get through to a few guys and see if a few of them will turn up. Before we talk too much about any of that sort of stuff.
All right.
And we'll just hopefully see what happens. We're up to 5 now, so that's pretty good. This is a good time of the day. Thank you everyone for coming along. Thank you, Leon, very much for
guys.
Calling in. Thank you, OBZ and Whale Miner and Chris Cruz. Chris Cruz is just kind of a bit nervous about you talking about Nick, though, because
Chris, I understand that. I've been around in the safety, like I've been kind of in the background, like not talking, because every time I used to go into like safety Discord or Vulcan Discord, it would just be like blah, 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 blah. And like it's hard to follow that when you have twins. So as you saw before, and when I was a part of when I first got into bulk Safu, I didn't have children. Like this was back in April. I found out I was pregnant in May. So yeah. And I couldn't really be active in the community. So each thing that I was looking at was AMA and basically announcements. So
and Prado.
Sorry?
And Prado.
Well, I didn't really watch Prado. I think the most I've watched Prado was probably like about 5 minutes. I just can't. Like, yeah, I do apologize if you're watching Prado, but you know, I just can't watch you because I just feel this cringe when I do. Like some people might feel the same, you know, watching us too, Keith. So like I do.
Oh, no doubt.
I understand, but it's just personal preference. Like, you know, when you're kind of
but that's why, like what I just said, you know, like referring to Prado out of all people, it's just that exact thing where you become like someone's, you know, like you either like their content or you don't, and that's perfectly fine. Of course, you can't be friends with everyone. You can't please everyone. It's just the way it is. And, you know, like, but the whole thing about why I mentioned Prado, obviously he was the biggest shill. And, you know, like, generally speaking, I get on okay with Daniel. I've had him on my live stream. He's talked about his project and all that sort of stuff, or what I should say, made my ears bleed. For however many hours, he just kept on rabbiting on about stuff because you just can't shut him up. Yes, Barry, you do. You please everyone. Yeah, Barry, I've spoken to in person, and he is such a contrasting character. Like what you see him on Discord, always pulling a piss and doing stupid stuff. Like his intellect is really good, so he can tone it to the occasion, and he's a very smart guy, Barry. He's a great guy.
Barry.
Yeah.
Is it Barry from Australia? Because it's a very
no Barry no, Barry's from USA. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, look, my honest opinion on this whole Vulcan Virtuo, whatever it's called.
We've got some extra people now, so go for it.
Yeah, look, my honest opinion on it. I feel like NFTs are 2021 bull run. I don't feel like it's kind of what's going to spark attraction. My main concern is what's going to happen now? Like, what's the marketing? What's the, you know, how is this going to all play out? I feel like if they move towards kind of something different, something unique like AI, gaming, kind of blockchain, or, you know, just something out of the ordinary where it hasn't been done, then I think people would look at this like, okay, this is something that we can work on. There's something to actually believe in. But at the moment, what we're majority of us are feeling is that, you know, this is just the NFT project. Let's just see how it goes. If we get anything, we get anything. That's just a bonus. But I think a majority of us have kind of lost hope in regards to any progression for that. But yeah, we have got the NFTs in the wallet, so that's a plus, I guess.
Have you?
Yeah, we do.
So that's in your sacrifice wallet, is it?
Yeah.
Shit, I've got to find it.
Yeah.
My sacrifice wallet is on my old phone, and my old phone is dead and doesn't work anymore. So, and I don't know how to even, like, I'd have to take it to the phone shop to see if they can get the screen to come on, and so it would work. So I can, because I don't have a seed phrase or whatever saved for it. So, yeah, it's just like, I'll worry about it if it actually does something. So
Yeah, exactly. At the moment,
that's where I stand with it.
yeah. I mean, if it happens, guys. But if not, then there's not really much we can do about it. And when it comes to like investigations and stuff, NFTs have utility, but it's not as big as it was in 2021.
That you're aware
That's
of.
just how I see it. Sorry?
That you're aware of.
Yeah, that's just my personal opinion for that.
Yeah, I know. But just because you may think that now doesn't necessarily mean there isn't going to be any spark that makes someone able to do something with them that you mightn't be aware of. And you go, wow, that's things progress. You don't know.
I mean,
So,
I've seen within this whole between 2021 and 23, I've seen people create like websites where similar kind of concept what Nick Kalani is going through is like they made a website similar to Facebook for creators for NFTs. Do you know what I mean? So and them doing that process, it didn't really go anywhere. So that's why I'm kind of saying I don't really feel like it's a hot topic at the moment. NFTs, like no disrespect to you, Keith. I know your project is all about that kind of stuff. Like you're trying to build something, but it's just for me for a blockchain just to be on, for creators. What kind of stuff are you for creators?
Jeez, here we go.
Yeah.
No, with the cause of the calves, I have an NFT line, yes, but that was purely just to do with the rebasing effect of the SafeUX or Vulcan blockchain, right? Now that is gone, essentially that is just dead in the water. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell to do.
Create a gaming token, Keith. I reckon that would be good. Like, there is. Do you know what would be an awesome idea?
This bloody Vulcan community or Seifu community has cost me so much. Like, I had the most brilliant bloody role-playing game lined up for Calf, which was called Calf Country, and it was bloody unreal. Like, I'd seen what was going on in the development side of it, and it was just amazing. And with the shit that everyone created with me and won, which was nothing to do with me, it basically meant the developers didn't want anything to do with myself anymore. And it was just because of one. And I lost Calf Country. That was essentially blackmailed away from me. And it was just such a shit time where I had the opportunity of doing so much, but the bloody community just jumping on fake shit just totally screwed me over. And that was the direction that I was wanting to go, but they just totally messed it up for me. And yes, it's like, yes, I did it, but I didn't do the actions. And yet it was because of all the fudstorm and the shit narratives that were put out there about myself, about one, supposedly rugging it, which of course I didn't do. And that's proven on the blockchain as well, mind you. And all these fake narratives that were put out there that scared the developers away from having anything to do with myself and Calf, and totally friggin' screwed everything up. And it was just like, I was trying to tell people just to shut up because it's none of their business. It's not what they see, and yet they just, whatever, they just go with their shit, they just grab their bone and run with it. And it's just like, you just wish you could just tell people the truth, but they just won't listen to you. And like a couple of people know that it was fueled extra by a few prominent people, which, didn't really help the cause. And without asking me about any sort of verification on, what actually happened, like no one would ask me, in private, like, what actually did happen, Keith. And, and yet it was said on the live stream, for fuck's sake. Like, just, just listen to what's being said. And yet it's just like, oh, well. And so it's just totally fucked me project up and make it so much harder to be able to diversify and to get anywhere. And it's just really short-sighted by people in the community just to jump on the bandwagon of just fake agendas. Agendas that push fake narratives. And it just so yes, well, I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying, and I get it. But NFTs probably would play a supplementary role rather than a primary role. See, I've never used NFTs for fundraising. See, a lot of people essentially use NFTs for. That's all right. It's all good. We know what it's like to have kids. NFTs are used essentially. A lot of people use them for generating or supplying funds for like LPs, etc.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But look, where I'm coming from is we need something kind of unique. And,
I know that. I know.
Like, for example, like I have an idea. What about create a game? Yeah. And in that game, people can earn tokens, but they pay like a package. Yeah. To get like, you go through stages, you have to get packages, but you get these tokens and then you spend those tokens. So those tokens will go to like a burn wallet if they spend it, or they can claim it and then they'll use like a gas fee for that. I reckon that's an awesome idea, what I just said.
Earn to play is is a concept that's well and truly being done.
I haven't seen it. Like I've seen it, but it hasn't been really successful.
Play to earn.
Yeah.
Well,
like I think last blockchain there was something like that, but it wasn't kind of in concept.
This sort of shit is so frustrating because that's exactly one of the lines that Calf Country had involved, is that it had a play to earn as well as role playing. It just about covered every little thing. You like just extract what's in your head and then put it into a thing, and that's what you would have had. And yet I had that opportunity taken away, and it was so annoying that to have something so big and unique just stripped. It's just such a pain in the ass.
Well, that is a great idea. If you go do it again, that is.
You can't afford to do it because you're talking millions of dollars in development. Like it's so much money. It's just unbelievable.
Talking about money, have you guys seen the latest funds available for Vertuvo? Like it's gone down significantly.
The what, sorry? Yeah, what did you say? Sorry, I missed what you said.
Yeah, everyone has this idea, the play to earn and the burning of the tokens when you use that. I was just saying, talking about funding, like, have you seen the Vertuvo, like how much is left?
Oh, that's the blockchain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so going back to that, that's a little bit worrying.
Yeah.
Just to think about how are they going to kind of give everyone their tokens back. Like tokens, I know they're going to half the amount to $5 from $9, but if we don't have these boosters, how's that going to work? Like that's just kind of concerning for me.
Concerning, absolutely. there is just so much getting played that to present stuff on here and now is just not going to give you any sort of satisfactory answers to what you're thinking and what your doubts are, because
maybe Chris can kind of address this, like with
I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say when it comes to the financial side.
Maybe don't say anything at the moment, because then it will kind of play into that investigation.
Oh no, I don't go releasing any information I'm not allowed to. So I'm not going to say the things that I'm aware of that has happened and possibly could happen. Anything other than a fairly sort of generic sort of line. Of course, I'm involved in a few different things, yes. And see, Chris is just saying he has the same concern. That's right. And that's exactly what we've spoken to in private. Like,
I'm glad that you kind of mentioned that, Chris. Like, it's good to see someone that does live AMAs with Nick that can kind of reiterate what our concerns are as a community, because it's not just me that has these concerns. It's a majority of the people who is looking at this and being like, okay, how are we going to come from this? How, if people don't invest in those boosters, then there's no chance of us coming out of.
I know you've got to get capital from somewhere.
Exactly.
You know, like the problem is that everything that we've sacrificed, Nat, is essentially just gone. And I just personally, I just can't believe the amount of money that's been spent to produce no blockchain yet. Whereas there's another group of guys that has got their own blockchain, you know, and it's just like they can do it on their budget, and yet we can't do it on ours. You know, like I don't know exactly how many dollars are spent. There's all sorts of shit thrown around, whether it be, you know, 1.6 or 2.4, or now it might be 2.6 million or some bloody thing. I don't know, but it's ridiculous amounts of money. And we're still going, what? Where is it?
100%, because each time we've asked BL, hi Shadow, he's
hi Shadow,
always come back and not given an answer. It's kind of gone in circles, and he's kind of avoided that answer. And now he's disappeared. So where is BL? Where is he?
Where is he? Having a holiday on our money.
Yeah.
G'day, mate. How you going? Thank you very much, Shadow X, for joining in. Great to see you here, mate. Obviously, we can speculate on how they're feeling, but I would imagine that they would be obviously still having their eyes on what's going on. See, this is what I was about to say, Barry, but I wasn't sure whether I could. Because that's the thing. Revive is building their own blockchain, which is Hive, and they've done it without the fundraising. Like, holy shit! Like, you know, proof of concept. They can do it. So what the hell's wrong with this community? Like, seriously. And what gets me, and I'll express my opinion here, which I've never said before, which is that Nick said to us last November, December, or whatever it was, maybe even both months, said to us when the question was asked, will the blockchain be ready for the 20th of January? Yes, absolutely. Everything's on track. I don't see any reason why not. Okay.
Yeah.
How many months since January is it? And they still haven't got a blockchain, and they're still working on stuff, when you would have thought at the very least, before any shit went down, because this is before the FUD, that they would have had it done and able to do its thing, and yet it's all about delay, and nothing has been presented. It's I'm just finding
Keith,
that
I just want to ask you, sorry about that. That's how I feel at the moment about this situation. But I just want to ask you, okay? I just want to say, like, all right, Nick's come out in January saying this stuff, and we don't have a blockchain at the moment. In the memorandum, like the document that was signed, it says if Nick doesn't produce the
60 days,
blockchain within 60 days, then it's automatically going to go back to BL. Yep. So what's happening? Do we think that blockchain is going to be done within 60 days? Or is this all a game?
Well, put it this way.
Chris, what's your opinion? Like, do you think the blockchain will be done within 60 days? Like they've said that we'll kind of release him on the 8th. No. Is that right? Something like that. Like they were going to, and we've received the NFTs, but what's happening?
What concerns me is that if you've got a fundraising round to launch the blockchain would mean that you've got to put more funds into something that doesn't exist at that point in time for it to exist, which means that you're again trusting them, and they've got a 60-day window of being able to get something released on those funds that have been again essentially sacrificed to the blockchain that doesn't exist.
Yeah. And look, Keith, let's be honest, like no one had another kind of option but to go with Nick. So we didn't have anyone else that stepped up and be like, hey, here's another option.
No, but you couldn't step up. There was no one that could step up because Nick was handpicked by Brian as part of Decentrology to do whatever they did. And he didn't have certain things in his repertoire of producing, like, I know other people know it and they say it in the Discords, on the tech side of stuff. But yeah, whatever. I'm not here to criticize his tech abilities. I'm a farmer. But the thing is that I find it just one of those things where he said January, and then they put out things like March and June, and now 1st of September, and now it's 9th of September, and now they're saying another date. Okay, how many times do we have to keep getting told? And then on whose money is it going to be launched on? Because again, to launch the blockchain, they're going to have to fundraise money without a blockchain existing.
Yeah.
Because they need it for liquidity. And so they again have to put trust in people to give them money without a blockchain even existing. They can say that it's going to exist, but how many times have we been told that it hasn't existed yet? We don't have a blockchain, and yet they're asking, they need to get our money now. They've put it in such a position with a financial situation where they need extra capital be put into something that's promised to exist. And how many times has that promise been passed and broken? And it's like, come on, guys, at some stage, you just have to have it happen. Like,
so Keith, I've got a message from one of the guys on the Discord. He has concerns that still Adrian, Damien, and the old Vulcan team is still working on the current new Virtuvo. So I just want to know, Chris, if you hear me, do you know if this is true, or because we've been told that they've left in the previous, like on Discord and stuff like that.
Well, I wouldn't want to see it. I wouldn't want to see any of them anywhere near it, would I?
No.
They can all go and jump for all I care, because they were all in the same boat. Like. See, I don't discriminate. I post any message, so thank you.
That's all right.
Because it was
I
Barry
can't
was saying
see
this.
the channel anyway, so I'm not using YouTube. I just can see what you say here.
Yeah.
Actually,
but I'm on different. I'm streaming to different platforms, so I see all of the messages.
I didn't realize I can see messages. I do apologize.
You're learning. It's all good. Okay. Well, apparently, BL and Jason are gone, but Adrian and Damien are still there.
Yeah.
They think.
Yeah.
So obviously that's
how I feel about the old team being on it. But anyway.
No, I don't like that at all. No, because I just don't get how anyone can do that. Like they're all, in my opinion,
my German Shepherd's barking.
Yeah, right. Well, see, I'm not in the loop in keeping up with what's going on with the new blockchain because, like, I've expressed this to Chris, where when I got told about the payment and stuff to Brian, I just couldn't give a stuff. So I was like, yeah, whatever. They can just mess it up themselves. They don't need me around. And of course, yeah, Nick doesn't want to talk about his devs. I know the secrecy shit is what's annoying as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Where everything's in the shadows. Ooh, and it's like, you can't afford to be like that now, guys, because it's just like, come on.
Look, things just don't add up, do they, Keith? So
I know that. I get that. Yeah, right. So they were on the team call, and advisors, yeah, it's just. So personally, I still have not seen enough to satisfy me to have confidence with what I'll put this as everyone doing. That's to do with the new blockchain.
Yeah.
I just don't personally. I just don't see it. I just struggle so much with. I don't want to be the creator of FUD and shit like that, and probably no one will listen to my opinion anyway. But I just, yeah, I realise you're talking about Adrian Damien. Yeah, they weren't talking. Yeah, there's sort of like almost feels like there's a protection racket, doesn't there, where they don't have to be exposed to a community after all of the shit that's gone down with their old master and chief and someone that they were in a partnership with. It's like it's just unbelievable. Like personally, I just don't get that stuff. And I hope that there's people speaking up about that. I'm not I'm not looking in their Discord. I don't know.
Like, I just want to say this, Keith. No one's safe in the old team. No one's safe from this investigation. I do hope all of them get pulled up. So, yeah. So,
well, we are definitely doing stuff.
Adrian.
And I want everyone.
Jason. Yeah.
I want everyone to know that we are doing stuff. Like, just because you don't hear it, because you got to remember that we've got to keep sort of a cloak on what we're doing as well. Where you can't just come out and just, you're like, they've got their eyes and ears on Discord all the time.
100%.
Taking their screenshots, doing their thing, finding out who's doing what. Essentially they're using Brew as a mechanism to see where is their investigation up to, and what can we do to protect ourselves? Because we've all seen the plays where they see something happen and then they put out some sort of issue, some sort of statement to sort of ward that one off, to cover their base. And like, it's, I don't want to give them that privilege with what we're doing. No, that's not going
all
to happen.
All we want to say to you guys is we do have a small group of Aussies in Australia who is working together to do something for you guys. So
if there's any Australians out there, please contact me on Discord or Kryptonite. Please contact us and we will guide you in the right direction. We're not going to say where and how, but we'll let you know when and if you contact us. So
and
the
reason why we're not the reason why we're not disclosing information is because we want the best outcome for this community. Like, too many people have been burnt. So many people have lost a lot of money. Not just that, their families, their mental health, and, you know, a lot of things like health-wise. It's so important that these people, you know, are brought to justice for their actions that they've done. And I'm not going to give up. And I thank Brew community for like providing all this information, because without you guys, we couldn't have done this. So I just wanted to say this before I go, because the little ones are, you know, getting unsettled at the moment.
I'll just skip to this one. Where's Chalk? This live stream wasn't coordinated with Chalk. I'm streaming to her YouTube channel with her permission. She wants me to stream to her channel to help give us bigger audience, more viewers to be able to see what sort of stuff we do. She's a supporter of CAF and that sort of stuff and what I do. So, and of course, at this time of day, it is like 1 o'clock in the morning in the UK. So I would guess that she's having a sleep. It's all to do with time zones and stuff like that. And, you know, what involvement people want. Chalk is happy to be involved in this kind of discussion, yes, but this here was basically a live talk between myself and Kryptonite. So that was what was organised. I've chalked it up as a loss. I know if anything comes from it, yeah, I know. But that's the thing, though, Slum, is that it's just the way it is. You've got to be a realist about this. And essentially, my opinion is that I've burnt enough already. And I need to see some clear, transparent type actions happen before I would even consider investing anymore, because it's just there's too many smoke screens. It's just too much is hidden in the shadows for my liking. I'm just we hope so, Chris. We hope so. I think that, you know, Kryptonite and myself are both saying that we have a lot of doubts with what's going on with the blockchain. They've had some time now since the transition, and they're cutting into their window of 60 days. And
look, these are just our own personal opinions, and other people might be feeling that way. So we're the voice for those other people that are feeling that way and unable to speak up, because I know a lot of people, like I look at Vertuvo chat, it's like it's flipped the switch and people have forgotten about Vulcan and what kind of chats were going on in there. Like, how does it just flip a switch and everyone's so calm and collected?
Hi, Trev. Clev Trev. Oh, okay. I read it right then the second time. Yeah, we are doing stuff, but of course it's mainly up to Australians to do stuff for someone that's in Australia. We understand that. We're doing what we're doing. We're putting a call out there for other Australians to catch up with us, to talk to us as well, because the weight of numbers helps immensely. We really need numbers of people. And so, yeah, I'm really sorry that a lot of it has to be, like we could stand up in Discord and like in Brew and go, oh, what we're doing, and be like keyboard warriors and make ourselves look all tough and wonderful, but we're not doing that. But we've got to work more aware of what's going on, which we are aware that they're watching every step we make. And so I put it out there to Brian that you better watch out, son. I might be just a farmer, but I'm coming for you. Don't worry about that, mate. Like, I'm sure you'll watch this back and go, whatever. But yeah, we'll come for you. Don't worry. You've burnt us a bit too much. We'll get you. Just give us some time. We'll make it happen. We're coming at you from many fronts. You'll see. And one day you'll go, oh shit. And and
I think the thing is, Shadow, people might have lost a lot of money and they just have hope that they're going to recover that back again. So I think that's kind of the mentality that a lot of people are doing, and probably the same kind of position I was in, where I was just watching the, Discord, and I was just seeing the announcements, but I wasn't really involved in the actual chats of what was going on. So that's probably why.
Obviously, we've got our own lives, and it's hard to keep up with every little thing that's going on. But we're doing what we're doing, and Kenny, he likes the boys, so he'll probably want to do that, Chris. You might have a. The problem is you get a conviction and you can't get an entry into the US, so you might have to come and visit him in Australia, whatever the penitentiary is. You might have to come and visit to claim on that kiss of your ...
Okay. Guys, I'm going to head off. I do apologize, but it was lovely speaking to you again, Keith. And we are working. I just want to say again that we are working for you guys, and we're hoping to see the best results soon.
That we are.
Yeah.
And
hopefully do this again.
Hopefully what, sorry?
Hopefully we can do this again someday.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I hope so. I'm just doing something for 2 seconds, and then I'll be back again. Righto. Yeah, well, it's lovely to meet the whole family. It's good that people in this space have real lives doing real stuff.
Yeah.
We're not all just behind. We're not just all letters and stuff on a keyboard. We are real people.
And you know what? It's facts. They're like the money that he stole. It's stealing from our families. So there you go.
That's right. That's exactly right. And you do work with people that are in need as part of your job, and so you see people going through suffrage a lot, and so it's like you know, when you see them getting scammed out of money as well,
Yeah, it
I know
breaks my
you can
heart.
say,
Like
I know
honestly,
you can say it's all their own fault for doing it, but the thing is, they
no.
entrust people, and
Yeah.
it's just
Look,
their
I don't
trust
care
is
about
broken.
myself. Yeah, I don't care about myself. At the end of the day, I do take a little bit of profit. I care about the other people who didn't have that chance, or lost their homes and stuff like that. So I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about a lot of people when I'm taking these actions. And yeah, so hopefully we can get results, and I'll keep you guys updated what's happening in the Discord. And I'll see you soon, Keith. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
bye.
Yep,
That's
take
all
care.
right.
See ya. Well, there you go, everyone. Now, we haven't really, well, we haven't at all put it out there that we're actually doing stuff. We get asked a lot of questions. I see it in Discord quite a bit, obviously, particularly in Brew, is what are they doing? Like, what's going on? And, like, you're in Australia, you should be doing something, like, but let you know we are doing something. Like, we're doing a lot. Like, it is happening. Like, so don't think that we're just sitting on our hands, just going along for the ride and be happy to be just ripped off. We are actually actively doing stuff. So anyway, we've got a new guest now. Hope it won't quite step up to the level of Kryptonite, but I'm sure he'll endeavor to try, but we'll see what we get. I'm sorry, everyone. It is what it is. Welcome, Chris Cruz.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Did you like that intro?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. Made me feel right at home.
Yeah. Now, you heard obviously what we were discussing.
Oh yeah, the whole thing.
You where do you stand on one or some of those points or any of those points?
I don't think I can disagree with anything. I don't think I can disagree with anything that was said. I think every point that's made is very valid, very concerning as to where the money is and all that kind of stuff. What we're doing right now is Nick's setting things up. He's got to prove it to us and everything. I mean, I think I like a lot of the things that he's doing so far. I do share a lot of concerns and stuff, but at the same time, but with a lot of things that were said, I just know that some things just can't be public.
I know
that. I mean, I'm not saying I know anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when we get some answers, I don't think we like them, and I also think it's like, well, we can't get any more than But who knows? All I know is that whatever we all think of, everything that's happened, the way it is right now, a lot of people, including myself, felt like it's a loss. We're not getting anything. We have no money. We're not going to see a return. Well, with the way that Nick is moving forward and everything like that, I mean, maybe we do have a shot at getting something. Maybe not much. Maybe it turns into something super successful, and we're all sitting back here going, "Holy smokes! I didn't even expect that." But at the same time, more realistic, we could be like, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of shot at anything before. Now, maybe we do have a shot at something." But and I also think too is I want to make sure we're doing it right. You know what I mean? I don't want this to get like, oh, we're getting a return, but like it's just, it's bad, and I have my whole opinions about the whole deal that was made and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's one of those things that I see it differently, but at the same time, over all these concerns and everything. They're very valid. They're legitimate concerns. And I would never, I mean, you can't, with the people that are in BrewFi, even some of them that are just they're just never going to be having no matter what. There are some in there that are going to be like that no matter what. But you got to listen to the people in BrewFi. They knew all along. I mean, if you stop listening to them, then we have no shot. So, but I do appreciate the situation we're in, and I hope that everybody can see. I can see Shadow X. Man, do you see his profile thing, man? Every time I see it, I'm just a little bit scared.
I know.
Like, dude, a Shadow X that just makes you look like, hey, I'm glad you're my buddy. Yeah. Shadow X has got it right. I mean, Nick's going to prove it to us. So, I mean, well, Nick has to prove it to us.
But there has to be one added point to what that statement says, though. And that is that for it to see how it goes, you've got to inject more capital.
Well, that's
before
where
before you even get to see how it goes, they've got to do a fundraising. And that's where it really comes to a problem now.
I know, but listen to this. Listen to this for a second, right? So this is just me. I don't know anything. I don't know anything special, nothing like that. But
stop selling yourself short.
But Nick is going through this. He's putting a lot of effort into this, right? I mean, that's why I see a lot of effort from Nick into this. Whatever you think his intentions are or whatever. They run out of money soon. You know what I mean? So I don't think that Nick would be putting all this effort into it if he didn't have some type of plan or didn't think that he could do.
You can so easily fud on what you're just saying, though, like so easily.
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm saying.
Because you got to remember that Nick was picked by Brian and the team to become their development and whatever, and they still got Adrian and Damien within that cluster, and he won't divulge other business information. And yet, is it really or really?
Well, you can look at it a couple different ways. You could look at it like, well, legally he shouldn't be saying anything.
I realize. I know.
I would think that first.
We all love the hiding in the guise of legal stuff. We all love that.
And I mean, you got to give it to Nick at certain points. I understand a lot of the criticism and stuff like that, but he's out in front of it. He's out there talking to people and stuff like that, and he's out.
But he's getting paid to do it.
Yeah, but at the same time, is he really getting paid? Because I mean, if they're going to run out of money soon and he doesn't have a plan,
I know, but
nobody's getting paid anything.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is that people have to invest. They have to instill enough confidence to get the community to invest, because people from outside the community are not going to be interested in investing.
I agree with you on that extent, but at the same time, I'm like, look, they got to bring something to the table before that. And from what I understand, and from what Nick's talking about,
January, March, June,
they have to make
September.
Sure that it's when it comes to the delays of the blockchain, I don't know what Nick had to do with it, but I truly believe that Brian had no intention of launching the blockchain.
I completely agree, but is that why they got Nick to do the development? Because
and I think what he did was
to make sure it never comes out.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking the whole entire time. And it's like, and I don't know if Nick can even say that, or if it's even, we might be talking like conspiracy theories. And,
of course, Nick's not going to say it.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is that we could be talking about all kinds of, well, I don't know for sure, or whatever. But
yeah, we come
bottom
up
line
with all
is,
of this.
Bottom line is, though, I mean, Nick's out there doing this work. Okay. But
he's presenting slideshows and stuff that's numbers doing a thing on a test net or whatever.
Well, but at the same time, I think that like the GitHubs, stuff like that, those things are going to be, we'll see that stuff soon. So that's when I'm going to be more like, okay, now what do we got here? What is this? Is this something that can move forward? Can it work? All that kind of stuff. You know, they have to legally make sure that they can do the boosters and that kind of stuff, and they can pull money together and everything. So all this stuff right now is like everything's okay because we're talking about what we're going to be doing, setting it up. Maybe I don't like the way it's going to be set up, a few things here and there, but hopefully a community DAO can make the changes that I think they need to make, or whatever. You know, we'll see. But then I'll be more concerned if people in the community have to take money out of their pocket to put in to make it work. And I'm hoping that we can get somewhere where it's like they can start seeing a little bit of like a return, and that believing that this is legitimate, that, you know, these things get worked out before anybody would put any money in at all. That's kind of the way I feel. But at the same time, bottom line is we run out of money soon, so something's going to have to happen. And if it's the community, that's where I'm going to be like, wait, you know, I know you're trying to do something here, Nick, but I don't know if this community is in that position, and I don't know if they'll want to. But I mean, that's maybe what he maybe that's part of his plan. Maybe he's got something that he's going to, you know, do or whatever. But at the same time, right now, where we're at, people have a shot. You know, how good that shot is, I have no idea. But, you know.
Bloody hell, the whole situation's so damn hard, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I just don't want, like, personally, I just can't invest into something that I've been promised for so long and have to delve deeper.
Well, I think 90% of the community is the way you feel. I mean,
yeah, I know.
I couldn't blame anybody for being like, I'm not going to put a dime into it till I see something. Oh,
that's
I
why
agree with you.
It's more or less like one of those things where you're flogging a dead dog. Like,
right.
Like, it's almost like it's like it's been said a long time ago that, you know, you might as well put up the gravestone, because like it's just so difficult to get community sentiment good enough to invest into it before there is any, while there isn't anything still to show for your money. And they can have all these slideshows and promises, and again, we led down the path, and see these wonderful presentations of whatever and these wonderful ideas of what it can be, and once again getting sold hopium. And it's just like, come on.
I think it's a little bit different this time, because I think that the fact that Nick is talking about, I mean, if you think about this honestly, and then this is where I get a little bit like, okay, if Nick was very well on his way, he could have handed over what he had to Brian and walked away and done his own plan like he was talking about doing.
Yeah, but then it'll be 300,000 less paid out.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Then we'd be starting from scratch. And then there are a lot of people that were like, yeah, do it that way. You know, get more people involved and do it that way. And then it was like, okay, then he negotiated he negotiated, and that's where this is the part that, the way I see it, like I said, this is just my opinion. And this is where I think that there may be issues in the future or whatever. Nick negotiated with the people that controlled the sacrifice funds to receive money to bring the blockchain to market. I know we all talk about it being a buyout and everything like that, but I see it totally different. I see that Nick was not given the full amount of funds that were sacrificed to bring the blockchain to market. So, I mean, I think that's a whole nother avenue that they got to look at and everything like that later on. But
in saying that, was their game, you know, how usually there's a process of a reason to why they're doing something. Was there reason for not allowing all sufficient funds to go over, so then they can actually sell boosters or supplementary stuff?
I don't know, but I think it's terrible
milk the community.
Right. I actually think it's a terrible deal for
You know,
the two other guys,
because there's still people from the old team that are in the new team,
right.
And they really, and of course Nick had his associations with Brian as being handpicked way back in whenever it was last year, 12 months ago. Are they colluding to get this outcome to milk the community of more funds, or are they actually going to do something?
But my thing is, and honestly, I mean, Nick could have walked away, handed everything over to Brian, and Brian would have just been like rugging it.
Brian could have walked away 2 months ago and had half the amount of heat that's on him now as well.
True. Yeah.
Like everyone has their, tipping point where they just push people to a point where it's too much. But are they flogging a dead dog? Or are they actually doing something?
Yeah, exactly. I saw that too, Mike.
No, she doesn't have green hair in real life.
Where's the green hair? She got normal hair.
I know. It's not right, is it?
It threw me off for lip. I'm like, wait a minute, who is this imposter? But
believe it or not, people have these things called little avatars, and that doesn't necessarily represent who they are. Like Shadow X doesn't actually look like that.
No, I'm telling you, Shadow X does. He walks around like that every day. I'm telling you.
And Slub doesn't actually look like that. And Mike doesn't exactly look like that.
He looks like that when he's drinking his coffee, though. He's like,
hey, Mike, you look like a cup of coffee. And then we get you on live stream. Oh, what? Who are you? You're an imposter. You're supposed to be a cup of coffee.
Oh, poor Mike. He just came in to say something. Look at that.
We love you, Mike. Thank you so much.
I think there's a whole lot of.
Oh shit! Yeah. You fucking
get him off the screen. Get him off the screen.
You stay on that side.
Yeah, you
stay on that side.
Shadow X. But I mean, back to our discussion. I think like Slumdog Millionaire's comment. I mean,
what this one? I mean,
he could have. No, it's.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, there it is. I was like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I'm scared of Shadow X. No, I'm not. Shadow X is a very good.
But the point is he staying around for his paycheck though? That because
there's
still no deliverance.
Couldn't he? All these things are speculation and everything.
I know.
Nick has to bring a blockchain to market, and I think the 60 days that we were talking about, I think that's no longer it anymore. I think the updated MAU pretty much eliminates anything like that. They're walking away. They give them a certain amount. But see, my issue is, and I've said this to a few people, and I have no idea what they're thinking about, but I see it as Nick negotiated with them, like I said before, negotiated with them to receive the sacrifice funds to deliver the blockchain to market. All the sacrifice funds weren't given to him. That's the way I see it. And however you want to talk about it or whatever, but at the same time, I don't know what standing BL and the other two guys have to take any of the funds. I bet
you they looked after their own pockets first, of course.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not their money. That's the part that bothers me.
Yeah.
And just because Brian says the sacrifice and everything like that, I mean, they're going to have to figure this stuff out anyway. And as far as I'm concerned, it won't be done with that. Whatever the DAO does, whatever Nick does, whatever the blockchain does, to me, we want their help. But I'm telling you right now, any attorney and anybody in any kind of legal aspect, if I had a team of attorneys and I was running the show and I was telling them, the first place I'd send them is to Brewfied. I'd say, go in there, go from the very first post in there and go all the way through and create a timeline of all their screenshots, all their messages, all the different things that they put in there. You make that timeline and we're going to start there. And that's how we're going to build this case. And anybody should be. If the blockchain has something to do with it, that'll be great. If they don't have something to do with it, all right. I mean, to me, this isn't done when it comes to that. And I'm like, some of the other people, I kind of thought my investment's gone, hopefully I hope every single person gets at least their money back or they make a profit and and they feel better. If they don't, still I'm upset. I'm concerned about anybody taking money out of their pocket, but at the same time, hopefully it can work out. But the legal aspect of it, to me, it doesn't matter what the blockchain does. It doesn't matter what the blockchain does. Because if they're a part of it, great. If they're not a part of it, we got a full case. The full case is sitting in Brewfied right there. And all you got to do is go check it out.
And if you're Australian, please contact me. Please get in touch with me if you're Australian.
Yes.
Because we are doing stuff that I need Australians to contact me.
And that word that Slumdog's got in there, that term sacrifice.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but when the SEC started talking about the hexagons and Richard Hart and all that stuff, and him saying that sacrifice word, it seemed like BL went off the deep end. So I don't know what he was thinking or whatever, but he modeled himself a lot after Richard Hart. So, but
I think if you can get $1 out, it's a win for you, mate.
Well, I mean, that's a tough call, but it would be real nice if everybody got at least their initial investment.
But the problem is, to get any chance, we've got to invest more money.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I don't know if that is going to be. I'm hoping that is not going to be as big of a deal. Like, it will be. The money's got to come from somewhere, but I'm hoping that we don't see it from the community. Hopefully it comes from outside or something. Hopefully all the things that we want to happen in the good way, everybody, even the people who are very critical, hopefully all those things work out best for everybody. That's my goal. That's what I would like to see. And how that comes without people that have been wrecked for 2 years, been abused, repeatedly abused. I mean, this is sadistic what this community has gone through. But what they've gone through for the last 2 years, I don't want them to have to go through anything else. I want them to start seeing bright, good days, but just sit back, relax. You don't have to do anything. Let them do it. Let's not do hopium or anything like that. Call them out where you see them and everything like that. Have constructive conversations. Tell them your concerns and everything. And let's hope we can get some money for them. That's the only hopium I have, is that I hope people can get money. But at the same time, I'm not going to sacrifice, look, if this is wrong, I'm not going to be like, yeah, let's just go along to get along. I think somebody was saying that they would have said something earlier but they were afraid that the blockchain would fall apart and everything. And I think that's just a cop out. I think you got to be critical. And I think that's very helpful too. Critical people talking rationally to people always work a way out. I mean,
you've got to remember that at some point Brew was critical too. And they were having these conversations, which everyone called fun and that sort of shit. And yet they've been proven to say the right thing. Like, Mike had his token stolen.
Right.
Like, he was trying to get the word out there that shit was going wrong. And, those things are legitimate. It's all real. Like, it's not just some fairyland shit. It was true. And, it's just, personally, I'm feeling gutted in the way that there is such little funds left that the only way forward is that there has to be a prop-up of funds from somewhere. Now, obviously, I'm presuming it's community, but let's say it's from anywhere. But it has to come from somewhere.
Oh yeah.
For us to get a blockchain, any sort of deliverance, we have to get funds. And all I'm seeing at the moment, personally, is some deliverance on some presentations.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it that people like Bob and that, like Revive, can get a blockchain done without seeking outside investments, and yet there's been however many dollars sent to Nick for investment into a blockchain, and yet we don't see anything yet. Tell me how that works. Like, I just don't get it. Like,
yeah, you're
shit,
talking
like,
all that stuff
like,
is over my head, so I'm not sure.
It doesn't seem to be that. Like, I'm sure it's hard, yes, but to the right-minded person, it doesn't seem to be that hard or that costly. Yes, it costs money, but it's not that costly. Like you don't need to have such massive amounts of money to make the blockchain so it can function. Obviously, you need it for the LP. I understand that.
Right.
But that's where most of the funds go, is into LP, not and to onboard projects and things like that. Like, when I'm saying about onboard projects, you might have offer projects like development of a contract or things like that. What Decentology was meant to be doing for onboarding projects, where they help projects with the code to be able to get their projects onto the blockchain. Things like that is where you also need funds. It's not just a case of, hey guys, we've got a blockchain, just launch your project on here and she'll be right, mate. Like, you got to have a reason to why people have got to come to you. And usually it's to do with price or some sort of community thing, or a focus on something that leads people to them. I know that if it was all about cost, ETH wouldn't exist, like, because it's bloody expensive. But there has to be a reason to its existence, to why it draws projects in and community to then just transact and do what little people do. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're talking about, and I know from what I've seen and all that kind of stuff, that's a ton of money and everything. But at the same time, I still go back to, I'm not saying that, I'm saying that I truly believe that the other guys had no intention to launch the blockchain, and they were pivoting and moving on the development of it, and they were stalling and they were doing something. And I think, I might be wrong, but to me it seems like, I don't know what I can say legitimately.
Yeah, I know.
Like that, because it's like, I don't know for sure. I know it cost a fortune. Yeah, and I know that we're a week or so away seeing something out there. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully I just want it to, I would like it to, everything to go well. I would like everything to go well enough that people see some type of return. If it doesn't, then okay, we gave it a shot. We listened to Nick. We had him on, we gave him the shot. He took the shot, everything like that. But it's a tough situation. But at the same time, a month ago, we were all like, we're dead. It's done. It's gone. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? Like,
yeah, he's got a Slumdog Millionaire's got a point. We don't know what was going on behind the scenes. I don't know, but I do know that it seemed like Brian was really the one. To me, I got the impression from Brian. Months after, was the fact that Seifu got way too big for him. He went to the blockchain, did the sacrifice thing. That I think that was a huge issue for him. The nodes, all that stuff. I don't think he had planned ever to do the things that he was going to do. I don't think he was going to bring a blockchain to market. Nothing. So
no, I'm in agreement with that for sure.
And honestly, I think that he was going to take whatever and run off, be done with it.
But having said that, though, Slum, is that they were meant to have a blockchain in January, then March, then June, then September, and still nothing's happened. And now it's been milked to a point where they can only do it with additional funds. It's like, it's almost, I don't like to say it, but this is the way I feel. I'm allowed to have my feelings. And the way I feel is that it almost is like it takes two to tango, where it's almost like it's a complicit arrangement to draw it out to get to the eventual outcome.
Well, one of the
That's
things
the way
that
it
Nick,
feels to me.
right? But one of the things that Nick said, and I think we got to just double check and everything like that. But Nick said that they can't. They have to launch RC1 if they're able to do boosters. So that part, I think what's going to happen is, I think the part of the blockchain that will be out, the test net phase or the RC1 phase, whatever that is, that's when they would start taking boosters, and that's when you'll be able to see more stuff.
Then
hopefully,
when you actually start to see something, then that's
right.
okay.
That's what he did say that today, because I asked him. I said, "Are we?" I thought I saw something in the chat that it was the launch was going to be September 10th, and he said, "Not exactly that week, because what we're going to be waiting on is we got to get the legal approval that we can do the boosters. So once they can do the boosters, that's when they do the RC1. I might be wrong about that. But
what is legal approval? Like, who's the judge or the overpowering legal body that gives someone approval to do something?
I think they're going to have to make sure. I think they have to make sure, because of the regulatory environment of wherever they're at. Basically,
I wonder with who and what and how. Like,
Dubai, maybe. I think that they were doing in Dubai, but I think they got to make sure that they're legit.
But
I mean, that's
when they say about legal, and then you see so many things in the crypto space where legal doesn't apply, why is it now all of a sudden that there's legal things that you've got to proceed with, when who is the legal? It's almost like who is the legal entity that you're talking about? And especially you're talking about international boundaries. Is it an American thing, Australian thing, Dubai thing?
I think it's
is
actually,
like, who is the legal entity that all of a sudden now we have to answer to?
No,
that we don't seem to have to answer to when it comes to complicity on who scams what.
I don't know for sure what I don't know positive, but I think what the legal issue is whether they can actually sell boosters, and they not be considered like a security or something. So I think it's more along.
That's why I'm curious. Like who makes that? Like, what is the definition of what they're talking about with this legal thing? Like,
do they change
it's easy
it?
for them to throw. It's easy for someone to throw those words out there and say, because of development or because of legal or whatever. Okay, then explain to us why. What is it that is causing? Like, it's almost like a stall tactic or a tactic to be able to pivot when it. Like, we couldn't get a legal authority to do it this way, so we have to do it this way. Like, who?
Well, even if it is
the person? Who is the person that's got their thumb on you?
Well, very simply, if you think about it like this, they whatever legal authority they have, all that kind of stuff, they run out of money soon.
Yeah, I know that,
and nobody's
got the.
But nobody's giving them any more money, is what I'm saying. Is that so? Like it's like you got to launch this. You got to do this stuff to get be able to get boosters or to get venture capital or whatever. The community's not going to be like, oh, well, we haven't seen anything, we're just going to give it to you. So it's like, they're going to have to get something because they're going to be running out of money soon. So hopefully they do. But I don't think they're not, unless people see something like a functioning operating blockchain or whatever phase that is. I mean, no, I don't think anybody's going to give any money now.
Next time you're on live stream or whatever, talking to Nick, can you ask how and what a legal entity is that does anything in the crypto space? What is it that they're kneeling to? Who is the almighty authority that all of a sudden you've got to have this legal approval for something? Like, who is that government department or that entity that suddenly has this authority to be able to dictate what you can and can't do in the crypto space?
Yeah. I mean, I think
Just ask the question, please. Just ask it, because I'm
I
really
think
curious
it goes
to know.
back to. I think it goes
I'm-
back to that word sacrifice.
But isn't it like everything in crypto seems to be like unregulated? So where of a sudden is this legal authority coming from? Why is it now that there is this legal hammer that's coming down on you, that's dictating you to make certain decisions? Who is it? Who's the entity that's doing that? Because I've never heard of it. Like, please tell me who.
Well, who's going to investigate Richard Hart? Is it SEC?
I would presume it's the government entities, yes, whoever does.
Well, I would
It's
imagine.
like in Australia, we've got our cybercrime mob. Yes, they're dealing with the post effects, but who's dealing with the legal stuff prior to the setup? You know, like you're talking about, like they've got to get legal approval to be able to do boosters or whatever. So in other words, they're covering their legal basis, right? So someone has to know what the law is. So when no one seems to know what the law is until the SEC make it up, like they made that determination on sacrifice, you know, and that wasn't a legal thing prior to that. So if you had have been Brian and gone, hey, Richard Hart's able to use this word, what a wonderful idea. We don't owe you anything. It's not an investment. It's a sacrifice. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. So who is it that makes that legal thing that exonerates you from future proceedings that you have to tend to now to get the approval to do boosters? Why is it that there's such a thing? I'm interested in, you sell an NFT that gives you a return that you can use that money for doing something, right? Which is what a booster is, for like liquidity. Projects are selling liquidity NFTs all the time. What makes them not have to seek legal advice or legal approval to be able to sell those boosters for their LP? Please tell me what is there that I'm meant to be doing if I happen to do this for myself? Like, is there something that we're not aware of? Like, it's really got me curious to why this term legal keeps popping up when who is this legal entity?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I know. So the only way is please ask the question. Like, who and what? Like, what gives them the authority to be legal over you in a space which isn't regulated?
It might not be a regulatory type thing. It might be legally the blockchain can't sell boosters, or they have to do it a different way. It might be that might be what they're talking about. Is like,
but I'm not. But I think we've got to stop making assumptions and just ask questions.
Yeah, I agree. But one of those things is like, I mean, I have no idea what the legal aspect of it.
I know, but that's the thing. Whenever that pops up, it makes me wonder who the hell is this legal person that's telling you that you can or can't do something? Because I've never heard of them in the crypto space. Who is it? They deal with the after effects of scams and stuff, yes, and changing laws post an issue.
Well, I mean, it might be something like that. Who's setting it up? It might be like, but who's? It might be something that they're saying, you know, we got to make sure that we can legally do this right. That if they purchase this,
but who's determining what's legally right? So someone is writing laws for crypto, which is a deregulated space.
I mean, no, I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying that there's an agency out there that they're having to report to and all that kind of stuff. I'm saying,
well, that if you're seeking legal advice, you must be someone is.
No, what I'm saying is that they want to make sure, if they're wanting to make sure that it's legally correct to be able to sell boosters as opposed to the crap of like saying sacrifice or something like that. You know, I don't know for sure,
but legally to what? To who?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't know who that would be or what they would be. I'm not even sure if they're asking somebody out there. I'm just saying.
but that's the whole thing, is that when that terminology is used, I'm thinking, who is the person that they're seeking for advice?
Right.
And what gives them the authority to give said advice? You know, what is the legal standing for them? Like everything is like to do with government policy, right? Like they've made it law or not. And so,
Well, even if you're consulting with an attorney, maybe it's just something like that, and saying the attorney, because if Brian would have
maybe
consulted with an attorney, maybe he knew that if he used the word sacrifice, it'd be like a way that, nothing's owed to you. I don't have to bring you a blockchain.
until there's an issue like Richard Hart, and then
Right.
they have a determination made by the SEC to determine that a sacrifice is actually still an investment, not a loss of funds.
Right.
And like I said, that's a post the effect. But if you had have asked, like if Brian had have asked back then, is he legally okay to use the word sacrifice? He might have had legal representation say to him, yes, you can use that, legally correct, but now the rules have been changed.
I don't think that's the way it went, because Brian, right after the sacrifice, was even posting saying that you sacrifice, nothing is owed to you. He knew why he was using the word sacrifice.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. But maybe he had legal advice tell him, because there's been no proceedings, no a verdict made, no law made that a sacrifice equals investment until like a big enough case has been brought through. Like I said, they're acting post the event. They're being reactive, not doing things before there's an issue. So who is it that they're seeking legal advice from before there's an issue?
Shadow X says it's best in his comment, though. I mean, you're only going to get the answers to things that they can answer at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. But please ask the question: is who is a legal entity that you've got to pass all good grace with before you can commence or proceed with said actions? You know, who is it a US government thing, a international government thing? Like, who is it in the crypto space that has the legal power to give you determinations on whether it's legally correct or not legally correct to do certain actions? I want to know who it is, because am I breaking the law?
It is anybody. I think what it is
I know it doesn't exist.
No, what I'm saying is I think it has to do with the DAO structure and everything like that. I think it has to do with legally the DAO. You know, how does that work?
If that's the case, then say so. Then the answer
I'm not saying that they didn't say that. I'm not saying they're up to no good. I'm just saying that
what I'm saying is that when you ask the question, the answer should be easily to be
able
to be responded to.
Yeah.
They should be able to respond to the question easily. And like this here is
that's one thing about lawyers. Wrong. They're not going to answer you completely.
I know, but then why seek the information then? Just do what everyone else does. Sell, you can call them whatever you want, NFTs to raise capital for a liquidity pool. Right. Everyone does that every day of the week, except for CAF. I haven't done that. But the thing is that projects do that all the time. That is as common as anything in this space. So who is it and why is it that they have to seek legal approval to do anything? And so if it is something to do with a DAO, then Nick should be able to answer that like that.
Approval either. It might be that, and I may not have listened to it correctly, and this could be cleared up real easy. It could be something as that the DAO and the multi-sig, all that stuff needs to be set up legally for us to be able to take boosters, and all that needs to happen before that needs to happen at the same time we'll do RC1. That might be, it might not be that they're looking for approval to do the boosters. It might be, we're looking at everything needs to be legal. Like we have our established DAO, we have the multi-sig, we have everything prepared, ready to go. We can take funds now, that type of thing.
Well, if that's the case, can you just ask the question and then that should be cleared up in 2 seconds flat?
Probably. Because it's probably more like that, I would think.
I know. But of course, we're making assumptions. But if that is the case, then
our whole conversation is assumptions.
I know. And they'll probably come up with some hairy-fairy, half answer. I get that because they probably can't tell us the whole answer.
Maybe
I
don't know. I mean, that might be something that, that might be what the case is. That when Nick says, when I say it needs to be legal, I mean, the DAO has to be formed. It has to be a legal DAO, the multi-sig, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. That has to be legally done. That might not have anything to do with checking an agency.
Because I know that where you have your DAO associated, like for instance, if it's in the US, then you're under US law. If it's in Australia, it's under Australian law. Things like that. I understand that. Or if it's based in Dubai, it's under the Arabs' law.
I think that it's going to be in Dubai because I think Nick said that previously, and
yeah, whatever it is,
it's Jamelia Greer she's based in Dubai.
It's to do with the law of the land of where it's headquartered. I understand that. And so if that's the case, then the answer should be quite simple, is that it's whatever the country is, Dubai, United Arab Emirates or whatever it is, or I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, whatever the country is, whatever the law is, then of course they're the authority then that you've got to do certain things, and that's fine. If that's the case, then because I'm just curious to who the hell has this overruling authority that dictates what you can and can't do. I know a DAO changes things to a degree. Yes. Maybe that's where the issues come in, that you've got to seek different approvals because it's a DAO.
Yeah, that's where I think it's at. I don't think it, but who knows? I'll double check. I'll see if I can.
But I'm curious to know who is it that has this iron fist that's going to slam on you if you happen to make a mistake or do it the wrong way, and that you got to seek their blessing before you can do anything. I'm just curious to who it is that you've got to do that to, who you got to kneel to.
Yeah. I guess it's wherever the DAO's.
Yeah,
situated.
I know, but that's why, the only thing to do is ask the question. Because when I hear that statement come up, it's just like, it's almost like, oh shit, we're going with that excuse again. Like, oh, bloody hell.
Well, bottom line is all those things that from what he was talking about today, all those things should be done this week. So
yeah, well,
hopefully by the end of the week we start seeing something, and then the ball's rolling, and maybe
that'll be enough to win me over. And
well, I mean,
she's all good.
I don't know if that'll be enough for me. I mean, I'm not. I'm supporting.
Well, it's a start.
I'm supporting Nick. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's like I'm supporting him, and I'm not saying 100% he can do it. I'm saying each step by step. It's like, okay, I understand this. I'm taking baby steps, and it's not opium or anything like that. It's like, look, so far so good with the things we're talking about. I need to see some, like we're saying about, I need to see RC1 out there. I need to see some more information and all that. But at the same time, sometimes I'm just like, you know what, I'll just be back in, a couple months and we'll see if it works. Okay. Whatever.
Healthy skepticism isn't such a bad thing, but being paranoid or just a downright out fudder, well, then you got issues. But
right. Yeah.
But healthy skepticism is perfectly fine, so you can.
Well, even the worst fudder is worth a listen. The worst flutter is worth a listen, because they could literally tell you something, and maybe they're crazy, but they say one thing that you're like, wait, they might have a point.
But the good thing about being a healthy skepticism attitude is that it allows you to listen to the fudder and listen to and listen to the person that's pushing the narrative as well. So you don't get sold on the hopium, but you don't get sold on the FUD either. You healthily look at both sides of the argument, and then you proceed with what you believe is what seems to be more correct than not. And that's why I think that a level of healthy skepticism is the way to proceed. You can't be all sold on hopium. Oh, it's going to be all wonderful. It's going to be nothing but sunny days. I don't think you can
sell this community hopium anymore.
Shit.
This community's not buying hopium anymore, man. It's like, dude, if we get anything out of it, great.
And of course, I've got to make this thing. I don't know the live stream. I did not see Nick. I don't know anything about what Nick has done or is doing.
Oh, that
with
hurts my feelings.
regards,
I watch your live streams. You don't watch
I
mine?
was, it was bloody 8 o'clock in the morning. I
I'm
was
kidding.
feeding calves. That's
I'm
why I was
working
saying,
on a farm over here, man.
that's why I got this bloody itchy hay all in my face. So if you
I
see
heard
me
you
do
talking
this a
about
lot,
that. I was like,
yeah,
man.
bloody. Oh, it's just annoying.
Well, you
the
clean
shit out
up
of me,
well,
man.
though, buddy. You clean up well.
Well, I changed my jacket because it's not the one with the stripes, and I changed my
Oh,
shirt
yeah.
because it was bloody itchy as hell. But it's a black shirt, black jacket because that's all I own. So
I mean-
when you see me strike it rich and I'm starting to present me LV stuff or whatever, then yeah, you know that I'm doing something.
Well, hopefully that's soon. Hopefully everybody's all.
Yeah, but everyone will call it out, like going, "Oh, look, he's gone from like a shed to this fucking house that's all like he's got proper walls now. He's scamming us. Like, what's he done?" And it's like, for fuck's sake, like
I think you've proved to a lot of people that you are not a scammer. So I think that you've taken the hard knocks. So you've earned everything that you're going to get. So
yeah, but OBC, it's just it's just the way it is. But to what level they're going to be able to show stuff without us having to, or someone having to take steps into their own pockets further, I don't know. But we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, Nick's doing his thing, whatever that is. He seems to be obviously presenting you with enough hopium where at least there's at least a glimmer, which is good to see.
Yeah,
which is good to see. That because I'm being objective here. I didn't see the live stream. I have not been swayed by Nick's presentation, in my opinion. You were there live, getting swayed by his opinion and his view. So I'm listening to you guys with your healthy skepticism to give me a rounded view on both sides of the argument, and you've been presenting that well, so that's good. That's what I want to see.
I think of all this stuff, I think Nick's putting forth a huge effort to make this work. I mean,
no doubt.
I can't guarantee anything other than that, other than the fact that you look at the things that he's doing. Now, do each things that he's doing, can they be criticized? Can they do better and stuff like that? Well, let's talk about it and everything.
Are certain members in the community, that would be a yes.
Yeah. I mean, they know better than I would know, but at the same time, it's one of those things that, you know what? He's got a plan. He's gonna move forward. Hopefully it moves forward and people can see a return. But at the same time, who knows?
I'm sorry, everyone. It is what it is. We just got to keep trudging this road, and we will just see where we end up.
It could have all been a couple months ago. We could have all been like, all right, well, we'll see you in another project sometime down the road. We'd be done. But so now we're talking about
we're still hanging in there. We're hanging in there.
And hopefully we can hang in there and nobody has to put anything out of their pocket. It's all people outside, and those people and these people all come together. The blockchain's successful enough that everybody sees a return. Nobody's ripped off. Nobody's rugged or anything like that. And everybody has a decent life, just
the other thing for Nick that I feel is that the shadowing around the DAO structure and the people in the DAO, and seems to be something which is a real sticking point. And especially that I've seen that Adrian and Damien are still there, trying to disclose to how and why and what's going on. And as much as he might say that those guys are clean, that's all well and good. Yes, you can say that and you can truly believe that. But you got to remember that, Nick's association with these guys were when they first got formed, well, as far as we're aware, when they first got formed with Brian as the developer, it almost leaves this horrible taste where is there more to that story than what they're letting on or not? Is it really that? And the problem is, by having those people around, it allows for this skepticism to be in the fudding side of the community more than what it probably needs to be. And there's probably no easy answer to that to satisfy people's position. But as long as they still exist, it still feels like there's a connection from Nick to Brian, whether you like it or not. They were a partnership. They were like this. Sorry, twist me. They were like this that much that they were in a partnership on a big project that had big money, and they were signatories on a wallet that had big money. And you want to just say with a known scammer, and you want to suddenly, well, just say that, oh, those guys are perfectly fine, and that one's the most hatred you can possibly get. It's kind of weird where that kind of doesn't fit together. It's almost like general relativity and quantum mechanics. They don't fit together as nicely as what you would think they would. Right. You know, and Nick won't give you the answers, I know, but the problem is that that's where the community is going to really struggle trying to put their hand in their pocket and have some sort of sense of belief and conviction in their words that are said and portrayed to other people that this blockchain is real, it's doing real stuff, being good. There's always that element of doubt, and that's the problem with having those people so entwined within the new blockchain. So I don't know. That's where I stand on it. It's just those
it's
2 points.
Spot. I just hope it would be nice that like I said, it would be nice that everybody gets their questions answered.
And have those guys come out and spoken in public?
Do what?
Have those guys come out and spoken in public?
I have not. I don't think I'd be the person.
Have they put a concrete wall that's reinforced with this much steel between them and actions of Brian? Have they ever done that? You know,
but at the same time, it's not that. Honestly, if they came out tomorrow and they say anything, that wouldn't be good enough. I mean, there are people in this community that just want this to burn. They don't want it. They don't want it to succeed.
I understand that.
You know,
I understand that.
Well, no, and what I'm saying is, if Adrian and Damien came out and everything like that, I mean, it would be like, I mean, you know,
are they getting told to be quiet then?
Oh, you? No.
Are Adrian and Damien being told to be quiet then?
I have no idea. And I don't think I could ever figure that out. I don't know.
Doesn't it spark some curiosity to why?
Well, I could see it both ways, because I'd see it they're not going to come out. Maybe they don't want to come out. It's just personal opinion. And then it's like they don't want to come out. But then it's like, why aren't you coming out? And they're like, they come out and they'll be like, everybody yells at them. They're like, see, I told you I shouldn't have come out.
Chris, you're a healthy skeptic.
Yeah. So right? I can see it both ways.
You've got it. You've got the healthy skepticism where you can see it clearly on both sides of the fence. Mm-hmm. But the questions I'm asking is that, are they instructed, like from Nick, I'm talking, to be, or are they free will to do whatever they choose to do?
I don't think it's coming from Nick because of the conversation about the team members.
He said
in that message, right? He said in that message, he said that some people, he said, we're going to meet some team members later in the week. Some people aren't, aren't okay publicly speaking and all that kind of stuff. So maybe he told them. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. I would
Put
imagine
you and me,
that
put
he
you
would.
and me on a team, and
I think that.
we'll publicly speak.
But yeah, I have no problem with that. But I mean, but that might be different from them. But Nick and they might have had a conversation, mutually agreed that if they come out, it would just be a distraction. I mean,
I know that.
honestly, I think
I
they
get both.
shouldn't be going out right now and saying anything. And
I understand both sides of the fence. I'm just
right.
putting it to you straight, and then seeing what your answer is. If I
Nick
told you what I thought, if I told you what I thought, then of course I'm drawing you to either go along with me or go completely against me. But I'm giving you a foregiven conclusion to what I'm asking about.
Yeah,
I just
that's
want
the
to hear
good thing
your
about
opinion.
you and I. We can. I don't think
Having
there's
a
many things we'll
robust discussion.
disagree on, but I don't
We're
think
having
we'll
a
disagree on.
No, we're having a robust discussion. We're really pushing in this whole segment tonight or today. I'm pushing your buttons. I've been asking some stuff that's really been putting what I feel is.
I don't think you're pushing my buttons because I think I agree with you on the same things you're asking me.
No, what I mean, if you listen to what I'm about to say, is that I feel that I'm not pushing your buttons like pissing you off. I'm pushing your buttons to putting you under pressure of asking questions that I don't even ask in private. I'm giving you the full loaded double barrel shotgun treatment of asking you tough questions, which is like legal entities. We're discussing this stuff. Damien and Adrian, we're discussing this stuff. I'm not holding back. I'm giving it to you on, and I know that you don't know. I realize that, but I'm asking for your opinions and you're giving them to me straight. And it's good to see that, obviously we're on very similar pages. I understand that. It's good. But, obviously it's good to have robust discussions about that side, this side, whatever, and then, see where you end up. I haven't been messing around in this live stream. I've been putting it out there. Ordinarily, even in private, I'm sure you're aware, I don't normally speak this openly. Usually I keep things quite private and I don't really elaborate too much.
Oh, in our private conversation, I think you're pretty honest and tell me what's going on and how you feel.
But I usually don't really express too much, because a lot of it I let play out and just say, because Nick's actions are Nick's actions. He will do whatever he does, and hopefully it's good. He doesn't need me throwing in mines or bombs to disturb the peace, so to speak. There's plenty of guys out there that are doing that as it is. He doesn't need me doing it. But of course, I'm interested in a few facts, though, like what is a legal entity? Because I'm curious, who is it? Is it the UAE? I'm just curious is it because it's a DAO? Because no other project,
who knows?
Because no other project seems to have a legal entity where you've got to seek legal authority to do something. So I'm kind of curious to why that suddenly comes about. Maybe it is because of a DAO, But I see in Discords that a lot of the DAO stuff is all secretive, like they're hand-picked people on the DAO. That doesn't, if that's true, then
that's what Bob's been saying.
Okay. Is that true or not true, or what's the go with that?
Evidently the ones, pretty much I would say the structure that he has are people that he's worked with before.
Oh, so it's a hand-picked DAO. Yeah.
I don't know, because you got, I think, 4 of them, but aren't 3 of them like there's a community person, there's a YouTube person, and there's a validator person, right? So those will be people from the community, right?
Oh, that hasn't been done yet.
Well, I know that Greek is the YouTuber and Master Baron's the validator, and they're on the multi-sig right now. But I don't think a community person has been voted upon or that's even come up. I think that was what Alex was talking about today, creating a voting system or whatever for that type of thing. So, but other than that, all I know is that I think there's 7 right? And 4 of them are like the committee members or whatever. And I think those are people that I think one of them is Nick, and the other 3 are people that he's worked with before. So yeah, I think handpicked. Yeah, I would say so. Now, how the DAO functions with that and everything like that, whether that's a short term thing. I think it's a 90-day thing for the community portions, like the YouTube and the validator and all that. But the other ones, I'm not sure. But at the same time, we're like, we're arguing about the structures of it, and we're talking about things that are like, okay, well, I mean, again, we can just burn it all down. I mean, just burn it all down, and then, will you be happy then? I mean, the DAO has to be created. It has to be, So okay, if the DAO's there, does that change that stuff? I don't know. And if we're setting it up like this, is it just going to fail? Well, as long as people aren't putting more money in it, there's no difference between a month ago when we thought it was dead then, just a few months later, it's dead again. So, bottom line is that, yeah, there's a lot of things that may not line up right, but at the same time, I mean, like I said, a lot of people out there just want to see it burn. They don't care what Nick could come out and be like, we got $1 billion venture capitalist investing, and be like, burn it down anyway. So you just never know. I mean, we can nitpick and take all these things apart and everything like that, but it is what it is. So I don't know.
Well, everyone, watch this space. And again, if you're Australian, please contact me or Kryptonite. We'll guide you in the right directions to what assistance you might be able to provide. Obviously, if you contact me privately, then I will ask you a couple of questions to see what sort of level of input you want to have into the assistance that we need. And if you choose to assist, then I will guide you in the right direction to what assistance that is. So please, please, please contact me if you're Australian and have lost money in Seifu or in this whole debacle. So just, please get in touch with me and we'll work out what we can do from that moment on. But we are doing what we're doing, but unfortunately, I just can't say it in public to what that is. Everyone takes bloody videos and screenshots and shares it around. And of course, it goes to people that we don't want it to go to. So,
well, it's well worth it. It's well worth it to get a hold of Keith. So
please contact me. And of course, you'll stay private. Like, I won't disclose anything about the contact, regardless whether you're for or against or whatever it is that you want to do, whether you want to help or not. I won't use your information or tell anyone anything. That's obviously there's no legal document between us, but of course, I'm just giving you my word that I'm not going to go spewing that sort of stuff out there to what you do or don't do. We just want a resolve of the issue at hand. So any sort of a help that you might be able, like participate in with us, well then wonderful. Please do. Yeah, I know. We understand that, Shadow X. We're just going to have to see what they do. I don't know. We can speculate on some stuff, but we'll leave it up to time to pass on that one.
And so see what happens. You got the blockchain getting out there and everything. That doesn't end there. I mean, there's a lot more work that needs to be done. So all these issues, even the things that you were talking about that Bob's talking about and everything, this all have to be addressed. I mean, like Shadow X talking about that. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we can do anything right now, but maybe very soon we can.
Not at the moment, but we don't need to right now.
Right.
So, but please be aware, Shadow X, that opinion is held by many and held by
many
above. So I'm sure that we're going to be okay, but obviously we just got to see what happens, but I'm sure there will be something, but we just can't. I don't want to go into speculating too much about that at the moment, but I'm sure you can gather what
we've been speculating all night.
Anyway, I've got to go a long way to the supermarket, so I'm going to nick off.
All right, buddy.
And do my thing. So thank you very much for everyone joining in. It's absolutely greatly appreciated. Thank you, Chris and Kryptonite, for having a robust discussion. Hopefully we'll get Kryptonite back again to discuss other issues. Who knows?
Oh yeah, fun to hear her. She was
so at least now you've met Kryptonite. Seen that she's real and we're working together. Yes. So there's things that we're doing. Yes. So please don't lose heart. Just hold the faith. We're trying what we can with our limited resources of what we have, but we're doing what we can. So just keep the faith, and we're trying, and that's why hopefully we can muster more Australians to jump on board with us and give us a helping hand. So we really need more Australians. There's got to be plenty out there that have invested. We need, and Chris, on your live stream or whatever, if you want to just mention that, then please do it. Like as soon as your next live, because time is of the essence, to please get them in contact with me. Any Australians I'm talking about, because obviously Australian law, it has to be Australian. We need your help. So yeah, if you can put the word out there to a wider audience, then please do it, to help get. Obviously, you can't say what we're doing or anything like that because you don't even know yourself. But we just need contacts, please. So take care, Chris, and we will. It's totally up to them to contact us, though, Shadow X. If he chooses to do so, that's up to him. I can pursue people to a degree, but there's some people that I'm actually on their block list. So go figure. So I can't contact, unfortunately, G'day Crypto. But if other people want to contact him and he wants to get in touch, then please do. We need Australians to help us out, to jump on, to do their thing. So yeah, a lot of Australians I have in contact, so I've been able to contact a lot of Australians as it is, but I'm sure there's a lot more out there than what I have.
I think several that I can
so please try and get them to direct message me or friend request me, and then I'll accept them, and then I'll have a chat, and we'll see what we can do. So yeah, obviously I ideally want people from verified sources, because I don't want an alt account getting in contact to try and get information. So, there has to be some sort of validity to the contact. Yep. So the person, I've got to know who they are or whatever, at least to some degree. Like, seriously, I can't just accept that, like there might be a Brian Alt or something, try and get in on what we're doing. Because even the Brood don't know what we're doing as such. So
that would be stupid for you not to dox to you.
So unfortunately, yes, I need to have some level of doxing to proceed with discussions. Yes. So yeah, please be aware of that as well, to anyone that you send to me, that they've got to be prepared to at least have a conversation. I won't bite. I'm just me. So I'm going to bid you farewell, Chris. I'm going to hit my little outro thing and say see you later. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Love yous all. Take care. Cheers. See you later.